Can you use light roast coffee beans to make espresso?
Whether you're a coffee aficionado or just someone who enjoys a cup of joe now and again, you might wonder if light roast coffee beans can be used to make espresso.
The answer is yes, but there are a few things to remember. For one, creamy roast coffee beans have less caffeine than dark roast beans. So if you're looking for a morning pick-me-up, go with a darker roast.
Additionally, light roast beans can produce a more acidic espresso, so it's essential to find a balance between the two if you're looking for that perfect cup.
Read on for more tips on using light roast coffee beans to make espresso.
Espresso is a strong coffee beverage brewed by forcing pressurized, boiling water through finely ground coffee. The flavor of the espresso is determined by the bean and the roasting process.
In this post, you'll learn the difference between dark and light roast beans.
Can I use light roast coffee beans to make espresso? Coffee beans are roasted to a particular level to make them suitable for different types of coffee.
The lighter the roast, the more acidic and fruity tasting the coffee. Darker roasts have a richer, more full-bodied flavor. This article discusses some pros and cons of using light roast coffee in an espresso machine and what it can mean for your taste buds.
Why is the question of using light roast coffee beans to make espresso confusing? The question of using light roast coffee beans to make espresso needs to be clarified because there are a lot of different opinions on the matter.
Some people say you can use creamy roast beans, while others say you should stick to dark roast beans. There is no right or wrong answer. It all depends on your personal preference. If you want to use light roast beans, go ahead and give it a try. You may find that the flavor is more delicate and nuanced than with dark roast beans.
On the other hand, if you prefer a bolder espresso, then stick to dark roast beans. Whichever you choose, experiment until you find the perfect balance for your taste buds.
The question of using light roast coffee beans to make espresso needs to be clarified for a few reasons. First, espresso is traditionally made with dark roast coffee beans.
This is because the roasting process brings out the natural oils in the beans, which are necessary for creating that signature espresso flavor. Light roast beans don't have as many of these oils, so they may not produce the same taste.
Additionally, the espresso brewing process differs from other types of coffee. Espresso is brewed under pressure, which extracts more of the coffee's flavors and aromas.
This means that the light roast beans may not be able to stand up to the pressure, resulting in weaker or less flavorful espresso.
Can you use light roast coffee beans to make espresso? When it comes to making espresso, most people believe that dark roast coffee beans are the only way to go.
However, this is only sometimes true. While dark roast coffee beans are typically used to make espresso, light roast coffee beans can also be used.
The main difference between light and dark roast coffee beans is the level of roasting. Light roast coffee beans are roasted for a shorter amount of time than dark roast coffee beans, which results in a lighter flavor.
Although light roast coffee beans have a lighter flavor, they can still be used to make espresso. The key is using a higher grind setting and less water when brewing.
This will help to extract more flavor from the light roast coffee beans and result in a delicious cup of espresso.
You can use light roast coffee beans to make espresso,
but you might get a different flavor than a dark roast. Espresso forces hot water through ground coffee beans under high pressure.
The resulting shot of coffee is thick and concentrated, with a strong flavor. The type of coffee bean you use will affect the taste of your espresso. Light roast beans are typically used for drip coffee or pour-over methods.
Thank you for watching, coffeeeternal.com.